Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Thursday, August 4th, 2022. Let's start off with a little bit of news here, and I want to know what you think about this. So this is the International Mafia Fund, also known as the IMF. They're saying, let consumers bear the brunt of higher prices. Imagine my shock here. Are you surprised to hear that? Oh, I don't think so. And let me explain this to you in case you don't know. Maybe you're brand new here. I'm laughing, but I should not be laughing. If you think you've seen it all with regard to skyrocketing inflation, the higher cost of living, and everything else connected to it, you're not even close to being correct. We haven't seen anything yet, people. Let us move forward here. So the Bank of England, okay, it's supposed to be some kind of big deal, raises rates, the biggest rate hike in 27 years, and they're predicting a very long and deep recession. But here in the United States, we're just fine. Ex-President imbecile, ex-Janet Yellen, because she doesn't see a recession anywhere. Oh no, absolutely not. Make any of this stuff up here. It's impossible to do. Before we touch on the market or anything, I want to just cover something real quick. If you were to look over at the 10-year yield right now, I can't stress to you the importance of the debt market. I have been covering this, I think, more than anybody else for quite a long time. The debt market, people, is the driver of everything. The entire stock market, maybe you're new here, maybe this is the first time you're hearing this, the entire stock market derives value from what's happening in the debt market. Everything derives value from action in the debt market. So that means that pretty much everything is a derivative as to what is occurring in the debt market. Okay, it's pretty simple to understand. Central banks inflating on an epic scale. They're buying it all. Now, with that said here, 10-year yield, these gyrations we have been seeing, to me, this is a big sign that central banks here, first of all, what are they doing? They're in the debt market every freaking day, all day long, buying the debt, keeping rates suppressed, trying to maintain some kind of stability in the debt market. Because, look, you know this, at least I hope so, if you've been following this blog. The biggest meltdown in the history of the world is going to occur at one point, but it's not going to start or begin in the stock market. Okay, that's a distraction that, believe me, I realize a whole bunch of YouTubers, the usual monthly crash callers, have you focus on. The mainstream media has you focus on the stock market, the stock market, the stock market. But if you realize by following this blog here, and it should make sense to you, that the stock market is a derivative as to action in the debt market, why would you focus yourself on the stock market? You got to focus on that debt market. Now, the debt market is a ticking time bomb. It literally is. It's going to go off. When? Who knows? I don't even think about it because you and I can see it with our own eyes. And we did recently as well when we watched that spike in the 10-year yield. What happened the same day? Think about what I'm about to tell you. You and I, with our own eyeballs, remember what they try to do? They try to convince you that what you're seeing with your own eyes isn't real. You and I, watched that sell-off here in the debt market. 10-year yield went from about where it is, 2.67 to over 3.5% in a matter of a couple of days. What did that do? It hit the stock market big time. Okay, that's a phenomenon that we are going to see magnified multiple fold at one time. So if you and I focus our attention not on the dog shit, cat shit, bird shit stock market, okay, and we focus on one thing, two things. One, the 10-year yield. What is it doing? Number two, the Mannarino market risk indicator. People, there's not a better risk indicator anywhere. I know, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot his name. The gentleman out here, Nobody Special Finance, great guy, smart guy. He did a little modification to the MMRI. It's good, but I don't think it reflects reality as much as the original MMRI. Link in the description of this video, free to anybody. So keep your eye on the 10-year yield and the MMRI. Now, again, going back to these crazy gyrations here in the debt market, to me, this is a huge sign that there is some instability here in the debt market, and central banks must, unless they're going to let this melt down today, literally, I mean that, they're going to have to get in here and do more. That means buy more debt, which is what? Massively inflationary. I mean, just think about it. It's a no-brainer here. If central banks have to create cash magically, just like poof, out of thin air, adding digits to a screen, and then buying assets to the tune of, trillions of dollars here. Overnight, the Federal Reserve alone, multiple trillions of dollars in their repo scam that's been going on now for quite a long time, giving the illusion of more liquidity in the system. That's what this really comes down to. And that's the crisis of crises that people are going to be facing at one point here. A meltdown of the system. The financial system is, first of all, as you all know, like I told you yesterday, it's insolvent. So they must continually add to the situation. It can't ever stop. Every moment of every day, every second, the debt must expand or we implode. Okay, this is massively inflationary. We're in the end game, in my opinion, and central banks are going to go out of their way more than ever now to try to maintain stability here in that debt market. So what are you and I going to do? What we always do. We're going to just focus on debt market action to tell us what's going to happen. And with regard to other assets here, gold and silver, again, what do we keep hearing? JP Morgan got caught doing this, rigging the gold and silver market. JP Morgan got caught yet again rigging the gold and silver market. They continue to do it. And all they get is a slap on the hand. They get a fine. If we realize that the largest bank on the planet to buy assets is involved in a crime, it's a crime in progress, keeping the price of metals suppressed, shouldn't you be taking advantage of that? I will. I have been for many, many years. I will continue to do so. And I think it's a no-brainer here. I really do. All right, so with all that said, let's just touch on the market real quick. It looks to me like the game remains risk on. 10-year yield is coming down yet again. Fed's buying the debt. ECB's buying the debt. That seems like a no-brainer to me. So the place to be now, in my view, and I've been here for a while, I started buying back into this market before this run-up. You all know that. I told all of you what I was doing. I sent out multiple notices in my free newsletter. Link in the description of this video to what I was doing, what I was buying, and I'm probably gonna buy more very, very soon. I'm talking about ticker JEPI. Look into this thing. It has a hedge built right into it via a very large dividend. Okay, JEPI. I'm gonna keep buying it. Okay, I'm not saying you should, and if you do decide to buy, do your own research. Don't just, throw cash into something you don't fully understand. If you don't want to get in this market, that's fine too. Continue to bet against the debt, become your own central bank. Take advantage of the extreme price suppression in precious metals. And I know a lot of you don't like to hear what I'm about to tell you, but I think, and I'm not doing this yet, I still have my eye on Bitcoin. I want to see Bitcoin maintain above 21,000 for at least another 2 weeks. And then I will start to dabble in it. Okay, I'm going to start to buy more. You understand? I think you do. All right. So stock futures right now relatively flat. Nothing major going on. 10-year yield, I told you all about it. Coming down again. We're not done. I think the 10-year yield is going to fall precipitously, or at least has a very high potential to fall as central banks get in here and try to stabilize that debt market. There's definitely some instability here. It's a liquidity problem. You all know that. Dollar right now slightly stronger. Gold and silver catching a bid. Bitcoin around 23,000. Crude oil catching a slight bid, hovering at about $91 a barrel. I'm talking about West Texas Intermediate or WTI. You know the game better than anyone anyone, period, the end. If you follow this blog, you know what to do. You know why you're doing it. I really don't think there's another blog that's as informative. There may be. I don't know one, okay, that tries to tell you what's going on and what you should be doing about it. And of course, look, you got to think about what's right for you, all right? What you must be doing is getting out of this freak show dollar, okay? The dollar, fiat currencies in aggregate are under attack. It's a race to the bottom. I've told you this a million times over the years. Central banks are determined to kill their currencies. They're determined to kill the financial system as it currently stands. And they're going to suck everybody down with it. I mean, look at the IMF. The IMF's comment is stunning to me. Let consumers bear the brunt of higher prices. Let consumers bear the brunt of higher prices. So what they're saying is, okay, CEOs of this corporation or that corporation, although the U.S. government is doling out tens of billions of dollars to you via courtesy of the American people and everybody else, well, let people bear the brunt of higher prices. And you guys, get your big fat paychecks. It's unbelievable, people. I mean, you couldn't possibly make up a more twisted environment than this. What have I said for years? If you're a member of the middle class, what do you got? You got a tattoo on your face in the shape of a target, and you're being exterminated. You're being eliminated, and I don't hear a single outcry. I don't see anybody in the streets, nothing at all. And it's like I said, every man and every woman for themselves at this point, people. It really is. We got to stay on top of this. Who knows what else they're going to throw at us? Another disease process, monkeypox phase 2, COVID phase 1000, some other thing down the pike, expanding wars, false flag events. I mean, think of how people are treated today. We're a means to an end. That's all we are. We're like some kind of an entity that they just use to fulfill whatever goal they want. It's so twisted. I mean, I'm telling you, imagine our forefathers rolling over in their graves. They would be in full revolt today. Not now. Now people have been lulled into a sense of they don't even know who they are, what they are. So you can't define a man or a woman anymore. That's the kind of environment we are living in. Think about it. A man or a woman used to be pretty easy to define what they were. Today, can't do it. That should tell you something. That should tell you the sick pervertedness, is that a word, of the current situation. You can't define a man or a woman. If that's the truth, and that really is reality today, then how can you define anything? It's unbelievable. It should be pretty much black and freaking white. This guy here loves you a lot. Please share the video. Comment. Let me know what you think about this whole freaking thing. I'll see you at the end of the day.